Hey, this is Noogie from GuardianTalesGuides.com, and what we're going to do is basic versus fairy, which used to be kind of a nightmare fight, but because super character came out, Andras, it's actually now the highest damage in the raid. However, anything that has Andras in it is going to probably be the highest damage fight in the raid, and fairy's no different. Now, the setup isn't very different. Andras also awesomely uses off-element weapons. So you like ML being her weapon. If you're using her on water is great. If you're not, you're just going to use other weapons, which is super great. Because we probably have all those laying around. Some of us do. Anyways, so against fairy, it's always been, it doesn't really change. Like your lead with knight or future knight, it's pretty much the same as this one, right? Except you may change slightly differently, but the fight doesn't really change, right? The only thing that really kind of affects it is Andras has this little secondary ability that once it gets up to 4, you want to attack with it, right? So let it get up to 4 and then attack with it, and then it resets the stacks, and that's really good for your damage because it does more damage once it's at 4. Now, there is like a little bug that you can do. You have to get the timing absolutely perfectly, but honestly, it's really hard to pull that off. I think it's something in between 2 and 3 stacks. You can use this one thing that boosts your damage dramatically, but it's super, super, super tricky. And during chains, especially, because you're kind of focusing on more than one thing. Either way, we're not going to get into that because it's kind of it's kind of exploitative, but it's more so just along the lines of the fact that it's hard to pull off, and this isn't for the ultra elite. This is for everybody trying to get better, right? Either way, fairy, just like the old fight, if she teleports left or right, it's a dramatically different fight in the very beginning. If she teleports right, you're probably going to have some optimal sets. If she teleports left, it's going to be a little less damage, millions less, but whatever. So this is a really good candidate to hold your reset for, your retry for, because if she holds right and you get lower damage, yeah, it's kind of rough. So let's give it a go here. Let's see which way she ports. Yay, good port. So you want to get right on top of her and just plan out your little hits. And we get right over there to make sure you special as soon as possible. And then what I like to do is I like to go through and get the specials going, and then after every person, use her little ice break thing, because it gets a little tricky to manage if not for that. I could have done that a little bit better, but we're still doing it. See, if you let that go a little too long, they will escape. Fairy will escape. So almost 21. Honestly, not the greatest, but I mean the strategy held up. That's just RNG. I've gotten on this level 22, even if she spawned to the right. So we know that 21 spawning to the left is not that great. I'm sorry, the other way around. Suboptimally, I've got more damage than that. So once again, just sit here, get that chain off. I get Kana's up as soon as we can. So I mean, it's a good set. Still not great damage though. Might have to attribute that to Kana running around a lot and not putting that debuff up on the boss. But I mean, you can see that everything's going according to plan. Those are actual optimal teleports. We're just not getting up the damage. Alright, so we got a crappy port. Let's see what it does. So if you want to go super busy, now if I would have tried to go for it there, I would have been interrupted and we would have lost our special. So we just got to deal with it and take the lower hits. And it takes a little while to get your practice down, or your flow on during chain mechanics. Oops. I tell you what, that is the one thing that I do more than make any mistake. I didn't get it off, and oddly enough, look at that, I got more damage. A lot more damage, actually. That's the one thing I do annoyingly often, is I don't hit at 4 secs, I hit below that. Kind of did that to show you that, yeah, it can bum a run. So normally I would just chalk that up to a bad run, but I kind of wanted to show you that if you go for it, there's a good chance you're going to kind of screw up your run a bit. Golly, how close can you get over here? We are definitely not going to get that third chain off. I still got 23, which oddly enough is better than the other way. I'll go for one more run, but I mean, I think we've got the grasp of it here. Like I said, it's not much different than the normal basic setup. Not much at all. So just same old stuff. Try to get as many of those build up stacks as you can. Oh, that sucked. Doo-doo-doo. This is where you can lose a lot of DPS, because Kana will just bug out and just run somewhere else. Super great. But I mean, that's the gist, right? And on global, you can actually get something like 30 some million, low 30s on this boss on 86. But or on global, I'm sorry, on my global account I could. Either way, that's the fight. Hopefully that helps. Not much different. Just got to work on your stacks and getting those off. The icicle stacks. Deplete them at 4, and then the tricky part is depleting them consistently at 4 during the chain, because you got a lot of other things to watch for. But overall, good luck.